Okay, when we talk about web navigation, what happen is I'm on one page, and suppose let's take two different examples. One example I can provide you of eBay. I'm on suppose on a mobile page. I go to web page. Suppose I want to view some more mobiles. Of course, all the mobiles could not be shown on one page. It tells you to go to next. You click on a next button, go to next page, and then next page, and that's how you browse a website. Similarly, this could be for a tutorial. You are reading some tutorials, and there's a big tutorial, so it cannot be covered in one page. So it tell you. So what web designers do is they divide that tutorial into 3 different pages. So you read one page, then you click next, read the second page, then you click next, go to the third page. So those are the things are what we call it as web browsing or web navigation. And that's what we are going to do today. And we will see different types and how those things happens. Let's start with it. So servlet communication. When you say other servlet, HTML pages, objects share among servlets on the same server. It could happen that when you are going from one page to another page, sometimes you pass some values. For example, I'm on a eBay site and I'm on a mobile page. What happened is I select one mobile and I'm done with it. So I go to the next page and buy some other gadget like video camera. So these kind of things. So ultimately, once you are done with your shopping, it says exit, go to the cart, or do the final payment, some sort of a link. So when you come to that page, you will see your mobile which you selected, your camera which you selected, or some other gadget which you have selected. All those are on that page. You can see the values. Those values doesn't get lost. So these kind of things also, these are the values, like mobile which you selected is a value for a website. So when you pass on, those values should go on. So servlet on another server with HTTP request of the other. So whatever request you send, it could be on the same server, it could be on another server. You send a HTTP request, it will say that, okay, I want this, and then that web server will respond to you, that application respond to you and give you the page which you are looking for. If it is available, it will provide you. Otherwise, it will say, sorry, page is not found or it's not available. Okay, I'm not able to hear you. Let me see some more things. Just hold on. There is some problem with my voice. Someone has raised hands. Narayana Murthy. Yeah, Narayan, please go ahead and speak. Hello? Yeah, Narayan, can you hear me? Hello?
Your voice is clear now. You can proceed.
Okay, there was some hands raised up and says that they can't hear me. Okay, so as I was discussing, servlet is anyway. I'm presuming that you know something about servlets. So it's working on the URL. You are looking for some request. We will see how to do that. And when you say that I want to go from one page to another page, so normally we call it as a request dispatcher. Means dispatch the request off on this page to some other page. So we'll go into more detail. So this is the one part of our web navigation. We call it as a request. There's an interface known as request dispatcher. We will see how to utilize this. So we'll create object of it. If the resource, so with request dispatcher is used to dispatch the request from current page to some other page which you are looking for. If resource available on the server, that is running a servlet. So that means it's clearly saying if the resource is available, then only it can provide to you. Otherwise, if the resource itself is not available, it will provide you some sort of an error. So let's, before going through this, let me just give you this idea. So the URL could be some JSP file. It could be HTML page, it could be a servlet itself, so it could be anything. And it has forward and include method. So let's do the demonstration first before we will see that what all these things are. So what I'm going to do here, there is some question, I think so. Yeah, now this utensil voice is there from somewhere. So we'll create a dynamic web project. So here I'm using Tomcat as this is Java E6. So until Java E5, in Java E5 the servlet version was 2.5, and now I have in Java E6 the servlet version is 3.0. So I'm using 3.0 here, not 2.5. Because and Tomcat 6.0 supports only up to 2.5. It does not support 3.0. So let's write web navigation. Let's create a project. Next. Deployment descriptor, if someone has idea, that web.xml in till 2.5 it was mandatory, till Java EE5 it was mandatory, but with Java EE6 it depends on you want to use it or not. If there are some specific tags for which you have to use web.xml, otherwise for basic things they are not required, but I'm still including it. Let's do that. It doesn't matter for the current demonstration. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a servlet here. I hope everyone knows servlets. Give me please close your any everyone has idea about what is servlet? Give me a yes and no on chat window, please. Yes, those should say yes. Priyanka, no. Okay. Yes. Okay, Priyanka, just to give an overview, so I can't give you detail, but servlet is a component which runs on the server side, and whatever, suppose you want, there are two kind of pages, static page. Suppose you have an HTML page. I'll come to your question, Narayana. Just give me a second. Let me answer the Priyanka question first. So you have two type of resources, static resources like HTML file. So it is just a text-based file. You cannot interact. You cannot put your data into. So that is a static data. Those kind of known as static resources. And the second one is I'm talking about is dynamic resources. Suppose you say that please give me. You are on suppose a Citibank website, and you want to know that how many transactions you did in last 1 week. So that data has to be taken from the database, then it will present in a proper format, and then it will provide it to you. So those kind of resources where the data has to get integrated from different sources, and or you can say web page is not a static web page. It will be generated dynamically, depend on the request from the user. So those kind of pages are known as dynamic web pages, and web servlet does exactly the same. Yes, Narayana has two questions. What is the alternative for web.xml? There is no alternative for web.xml. If web.xml is not in, then how the context files and other configurations will be loaded into the web context? They will be done with the help of a web browser. Let me write it over here. With the help of annotations. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Send to all annotations. So we have something known as annotations for many parts like servlet, for filters, init parameters. For servlet based requirements, there are annotations which are can say more or less an alternative to the web.xml settings. But there are few settings like web fragment, which is fragmenting a web file, and then context parameters. So there are a few things for which there is no alternative. So if you want those tags to be used, they have to be used in web.xml, and web.xml is necessary at that time. Yeah, Narayana, Narayana, you can speak out. I have unmuted you. You could speak out, please. Yes, Narayana, are you there? Vishnu, would you like to speak? Hello, Vishnu. You raise your hand. Do you want to say something?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well. Please go ahead.
Oh, okay. So my question was like, even for normal navigation, we use different frameworks. In the web component, do we have JSF?
No, we don't have a JSF over here in this course. But yes, there are a lot of frameworks. Let me tell you, there are two types of things. One is known as technology, another one are frameworks. Like there was Surf framework and Spring MVC framework, which are all based on JSP technology itself. Even JSF is also based on the JSP technology. So technology JSP will not change, but the frameworks are getting upgraded day by day based on the technology. So technology is there to stay, and frameworks, some will use today. It has a maximum life of 1.5 years. Like Struts is not used very widely nowadays. Earlier it was. JSF is very popular nowadays. So that's how. But they are still based on JSP technology. So before going to the framework, I believe you should know the technology. Then it's better to understand those frameworks.
Okay, in this syllabus, would we be also, in this, will we be also talking about JSF?
No, there's nothing called JSF in this course. If you look at that, Oracle website, there is no JSF content. So there is mainly JSP, but new features of JSP and this course like web fragment, more security features, asynchronous servlets, and annotations, security annotations. So these kind of things are advanced version of it. But there's no JSF included.
Okay. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, thank you. So let's go ahead now. So I'm going to create a servlet here. Servlet. You can create any servlet. So I'll say servlet 1. Mobile servlet, something like this. So this is a servlet name. So I'll put into com.whizlabs.servlets. So let's go ahead. URL mapping could be anything. So I'll tell you how to change it if you want it. I'm just looking for a to-get method here. Presuming that you know something about it. So let's go and change it. So I'm not doing it. I hope you can see it. If you want, I can make appearance a bit bigger. So we need Java text font. Edit. Respond quickly. I hope that will be more clear now. So what I'm going to do here is it's looking for a serialized object, so that's fine. Okay. Now, a few things as Narayanan asked earlier question. So here I'm not adding anything into web.xml. I kept it, but anyway, for this demo it's not required. So I don't have anything over here. I don't have anything for the servlet. Otherwise, because for me, web servlet is doing something for me, which is servlet. Otherwise, if you are going to the earlier version of servlets, so you need to use these two tags, servlet and servlet mapping, to get your work done. Earlier, there was no annotation in Java E5. In this, we have. So, anyway, presuming that you know something, so I will just write URL patterns. How I'm going to refer to it. So, say mobile. So, I'm just writing quickly to show something. So I'll say response dot get fighter. So I'll say request because the data which we are using here is text and HTML. Out. So this anyway, this code you have to write. Doesn't matter you are in 5 or 6. So what I'm going to do here is I'll just write the basic things here. Probably let me write it over here. HTML head. So this is title. Let's say mobile servlet. Anyway, this is the longer part of the code. So this is a tag which I want to write on the client side. So when this data will be written on the client side, so that will write into a normal text file, so which becomes a HTML file. So on a browser, so this is what it will show you. So similarly, here I will write mobile checking page, something like this. So I'll just close the body and close the HTML page. So I'm just looking for the first page here. So when I right click on it, so run this, let this run. Something wrong has been written here. Yep. So this tag wasn't closed, so that's why it wasn't showing up in a proper manner. So anyway, mobile checking page. So this is the data which we have written. If you look at the view source here, so this is what we wrote. So they write it into a notepad kind of a thing, and whatever data is, it will show you. This is a very basic servlet. Now what I want is, what I'm going to do here is, I will create one more servlet here. So I'll just maybe camera servlet. So where I'm going to choose camera here. Just some space here. Now, anyway, this I will change it to camera. This is the URL pattern. You can write anything. So let me show you that too. So any camera, see this one. This is a URL pattern. So this is the alternative or new things which came into Java EE6, the camera earlier. So this is a URL pattern. You could have more than one URL pattern. So let's say maybe cam, something like this. So I'll run it again. By default, it will pick up the first one, which is a camera. But if I change it to suppose cam, that will also work in the same way. So there's nothing going to be changed here. Probably this you should change to servlet. Now, what I want is, I want to go from this page to that page, maybe probably by click or some other way. So let's to move to the next page. What I want is, as I was discussing earlier, here I need a request dispatcher. So let's go for the request dispatcher. I'll say request dispatcher. This is the interface. It is used for dispatching the request from current page, which is our anyway, you can move from mobile to camera or camera to mobile. That's okay. I'm moving from mobile to camera. Request dispatcher. So I need to create an object. So let's say create a dispatcher. Request dispatcher equal to says request dot get request to dispatcher. Now here you need to write the URL that to which page you want to move. Suppose now where I want to move, you need to write the URL pattern of the servlet or anything which you want to move. Suppose I want to move camera page. So I'll say dispatcher dot forward to request. Now when you say so dispatcher dot forward, it has default methods. Let me show you the documentation of it very quickly. This is short of time. Now it's going on. So let me show you the Java documentation. Java extort servlets. Here I have in servlet, I have something known as request dispatcher. Define an object to receive the request from the client and send them to any resource. That could be a servlet, which we are doing right now. It could be HTML file, it could be JSP file, anything. And a lot of other things as well. So anyway, let's not get into that. But it has two methods. One is known as forward, and another one is include. So it just tells you to pass on to request and response object, which client generates when it sends a request. So let's have a request and response object, which we already have. Request and response. So let's move now. Let's move forward. Let's run this, and it should automatically. I have not given any condition, but I just want this to get forward to the cam object, and just watch it very carefully. Although, see this one, see the URL here. 82, anyway, this is the port number. Web navigation, this is the name of the WAR file which gets generated. And see this one. Although I should be on the mobile page. Mobile means it says that mobile checking page, something like this. But before this get written or something happened, it just forward the request to maybe you can, if you want, even you can write just it doesn't confuse you. I'll write it over here before itself. debug this. Anyway, it doesn't make any difference. So I'm on mobile, but the content which it is showing me is of camera servlet. So camera, this anyway, you can use any URL pattern. That's okay. So it's showing me the output of the previous page, because what I have done is I said that I want to create a dispatcher which will take the request from the client, which will send request, and it will get the dispatcher on this cab. Once I do it, it will just forward the request to with the objects which it already has. So it got from some client and it is further passing on to some other resource. So that's how it happens. Now, what will happen if I don't write cat? Let's go ahead. It's picking up. I don't know. Check. Let me republish this. There's a new feature over here. Anyway, it's picking up. But sometimes it's better to give it with a forward slash, because probably with some of the servers it doesn't pick up. So you need to have this forward slash pattern which you have put, like this one. Suppose you try to check it. It will start giving you the errors. The reason behind that is probably will write somewhere. Fail to start navigation. This is the reason behind that is that it does not have a replace property. So the reason behind that is simple, that it does not have a forward slash. So it's better that you put a forward slash everywhere wherever you want to refer to. So okay, that's one part. So now this is one thing. Like I just want a different page altogether. I just want a complete. Now it's not. So sometimes what happens is you have already put. Suppose you have created some sort of a master page, and in that master page you have master page and you have some content page which you have trying to combine together. When you send it to the client, because you have just got the master page from somewhere and you have content page, you want to combine it together. In this case, what it's doing is it is ignoring the current output and just including the output which comes from the final page. Sometimes when you are combining two output from two different pages, probably this forward is not going to work. So in that case, I have one more method, include. Let's remove this. Include, both have same thing. So what I want is I want the output of this page as well as output of this page to the client browser. So let's run on this. Server is behaving abnormally. Yep. So here's the mobile checking page and camera checking page. So I have both output included here. So this is one thing. Now just one more thing which I wanted to show you. See this one. I have got the output of the page from where I sent the request and which was my final destination. But this URL hasn't changed. I'll come to this. Just remember that this we haven't. I wanted to point out that it does not go to the camera page. Now, the reason behind that is, let me need a whiteboard here. So suppose this is my container, and I have a web application into it. So suppose in a web application, this is my mobile servlet, and this is my camera servlet. So let me write here. I'll say here mobile. So here I'll say camera. Now what client is doing? Okay, let me have this some sort of client. So this is my client. It sends a request to this one mobile, and then further send the request to this camera, and when you come back, so this one, it sends back it. So it sends the request back to this one. So what happened with this is, although there are two requests, this one is one request, and this one is second request. But from the client side, the client wanted the output from both the pages. So either it could have done is send one request, then send another request to the camera page, and then get the final output somehow. But this one, what happened is, client requested for mobile. That's why you see this one mobile. But mobile just passed on the request to the camera, and it does not came from the browser, from the client browser. It does not came from the browser. That's why the URL does not change. It came within the servlets. From servlet to servlet, there is no URL as such used. And finally, whatever the output, it goes back to the client, combination of mobile and camera. But the client just sent one request at the very starting, which was of mobile. With this, what happened is the navigation response is faster. So mobile and camera, so you got the output of both, and it got faster. And now I would like to show you one more thing before I go for the differences. So I have something like response dot send redirect to which page? To cam. Now let's see the output here. Send, redirect, and forward is actually for this one is yeah. So what happened is, I asked for the mobile page, and what mobile servlet did is it passed on the request to the cam page, which is this page, and see, the URL also has changed. Now, so I would like to show you that. So with so I'm putting one more client here. So with send and redirect, what happened is, you send a request. So client sent a request to the mobile servlet, and mobile servlet says, it gives you the URL. Mobile servlet here, it gives you a URL. Please go to cam. So it just gives you an order back that please go back. I have this URL, which is cam URL. Now send a request again to the camera servlet, and then camera servlet will reply back to me. Just think of a forward case. What forward used to do is, it just pass on the request. URL does not change, but the output does change. So with send and redirect, what happened is, you were able to change the URL, that which we have done. But instead of one request, you are sending two requests, this one and this one. Two requests, slow. But what happened is, URL does change. With request dispatcher, what happened is, you send the request once, it just forward and it gives you the right output, but request number remains one. It is faster, but the disadvantage is it does not change the URL. The URL still remains open. Now it is context to context. Which one would you like to use? Like, because normally clients are not bothered about what is the URL. They are just bothered about the content. In that case, request dispatcher is probably better to use. But where URL is also very important, send and redirect would be the right feature. Now, any question between the differences of these two? So I probably have a lot of noise here. Probably this is no, Betty, there's no problem with uh, my keyboard because I'm using laptop. There is no problem as far as this is concerned. Are you still getting the noise here? Someone has asked questions. Let me see. Just hold on. There's someone who has asked a question. Vishnu Bhagat, Betty, Narayana. So Betty, you are the first one to say. Please go ahead. Credit for ya. Okay. I hear your voice really bad. Really. Is the voice? There's no problem from my end because I'm sitting in a room which is very, very isolated. No one at my house. No one. So it is very clean. Not even up. It's a pin drop silence actually, except my voice. So voice is not a problem for my side. It could be from a student. It's when you hide and when we are okay. But you can speak out. I have unmuted you. You could speak out. I'm happy if you speak out. Okay. Narayana Kopi.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi. Please speak out.
Appreciative.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kopi.
what I'm asking that for the redirect, the URL change, you're saying that is a disadvantage, but I don't think that is a disadvantage because the concept says that we don't want to be redirect, you want to be redirect to other contexts. That's why we are using the redirect, right?
Yes.
I don't think so it is a disadvantage.
No.
URL changing is not kind of a disadvantage.
It's not a
So as per your context, as per the context, I the got that is a disadvantage. So I don't think so it is a disadvantage. This is a context we required for the redirect. When we have a redirect, it is going to be changed the URL. That means whenever we have a different context, that means the servlet 1 in the one context and servlet 2 in the different context, I want to be changed or interchange the data or navigate to the between these two different servlets. So in that case, that might be helpful, right?
Absolutely. Perfect. Perfect. Right. So now I'll give you both examples. So let's come to this example.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, it's always welcome. Okay. So as Narayana said, that if suppose I'm going from mobile to camera page, these two are different servers. So if I'm using request dispatcher, it is just passing on the request to the another servlet rather than going from the browser. If you want the context to be changed, as he said, from the browser itself, then it's a different request. This is the only thing I was talking about. So if you are sending a different request, it becomes two requests at a time. It could get slower. But here, you know, mobile does not say that you come back and send a redirect again. In that case, with request dispatcher, because request from the client remains one, so that's why it gets faster. But with this, because, you know, take example, if I'm assuming that mobile and camera both are on the same server, so request passing is easier because there is no network communication gap between two different systems. Take example, the browser and your server, both are on different pages. So I have one request comes from first page and the second request comes from the another again from the browser. So there is two network communication. So that's why it gets slower. That was the only reason I was talking about. But only if you want to contain the context in the browser, so you can go ahead and do something. Yeah, so there is are you using headset for this webinar? Now there's a question here. Can we keep the debates? Okay. Now, so let's. I hope you have understood the difference between these. So let's go ahead and do some of the questions that we do after these things. So let's do something now. Now this will be an interesting question. Let's see how much you could go ahead with this. Oh, sorry. Just hold on, please. Let me cover up these slides. So let forward request internal external contents. Use a request dispatcher. So anyway, this is a URL. It could be JSP, HTML, and other things. So it could be from a servlet context. It could be from get request. So once you have a request dispatcher, you use forward to completely transfer control to another URL. Use include to output the associated URL content. Means you want to include the content of the page which you are sending to. So you want to combine that content, use include. If you just want to show the output of the next page, use forward. It's up to you. So we need to get a request dispatcher as we already did here. So we have got the request dispatcher and then include and forward. Either you can forward it or you can include it. I have done both of them. It could be from the same server, it could be from other resources, that depends on, because currently I am using the resources which are on the same server. It could be from different servers as well. Or sometimes if you want to call from different servers, probably web services are a better way of doing it. This is what we did here. Anyway, so I'm not going to go ahead with the same. So, and this we have already done. This. So anyway, this I will discuss at time. Now let's go for the question and let's see how much you have understood this. First question is this one. That some more questions. Now Vishnu, I'm sorry that this due to time shortage, I would not be able to discuss the mobile navigation, because for those there are different APIs like you know, either you are using for BlackBerry or for Android or iPhone. There are different frameworks for it. Or if you want to read, to read generalized things, there's a different there is different topic by Oracle. It's known as J2ME or Java ME. That's how it's known as micro environment. So micro edition. So it's a Java micro edition which is used for mobile edition. Probably you need to go for that. This is web navigation is totally a different thing out. Yes, first question, what is the answer? Please let me know about your answers here. Yeah, Tashi and Joseph, they have given answer A. Anyone is going for the different answer, please? Please speak out. Any others? Narayana, there are two Narayanas, fortunately. Then we have two Narayanas over here. So please go ahead with your answers. Vishnu Bhagat says B. Okay. Let me pop out others attendees as well. Let's see what they say. Betty, you want to say something? Please go ahead.
Is this working?
Yeah, I can hear you very clearly. Please go ahead with your question.
Is my microphone working?
Yeah, it's perfectly working. Please go ahead with it.
It's the first time I used it.
Okay, great.
So I just wanted to make sure the system was working. So now I know how to mute it myself also. No, I don't know what's going on, but there's absolutely nothing in my house either. And it, you know, right now there's no background noise, but a lot of the time when you were talking and typing, even if it's on your laptop keyboard, it's making, I don't know if nobody else is hearing that or not, but it was making noise and I couldn't hear your words. So, you know, there's absolutely no noise here in this house either. So I think it is picking up your keyboard, and when you open a drawer or move a piece of paper or something like that,
I'll still check that out, and I will go through this video again myself and see that how what are the things goes on. I'll check that out myself. I really apologize for what has happened because of inconvenience, and probably next time we'll take care of it. I'm sorry for that.
Okay.
So any question you have right now, you can ask.
I'm pretty much out of the loop here, so I'm trying to understand, but I'll listen.
Okay, please, you know, go for the questions and see if you can answer them. I will explain it as well. Okay. Yes, A and B. So let's go for this one. No, in request dispatcher forward, this is what it's talking about. Servlet A forwards to B. That means A data will not be shown, only B data will be shown. Then B includes the output of servlet C. Include means output of B and C both will be shown. After that, C what does it? It forward it to D. Forward means all the previous content will go, and then I will get the data of D. D which includes E. So that means here currently we are having the data of both D and E. So now the question is, when servlet A is requested, which servlets might contribute to the final response? So the final output here is of D and E. So the answer is A, which has been rightly given by Joseph and Vishnu, I hope you have understood the question now. You got the right answer? Yes, great. So now I'd like to go for this question. Let's see what are the possible outcomes from executing the doGet method in servlet C below. The answer is A. So the answer for the first question is A. Two. Just let me go to the questions. Yeah, actually, you could have two answers here. So let's choose it. Please, Joseph, go ahead and choose the two answers here. Okay, we'll discuss it. Just hold up for a second. Could someone give me the answer, please? Yes, sir, please go ahead. Someone has a question. Let me see who the person is. Guess E. Okay. Joseph has guessed for E. Probably it is a common device. Just hold on. There's someone who has asked me a question. And for this, not sure. Yeah, Vishnu, you have some question here, please. Go ahead.
Oh, for second question, I feel that since slash is not there before servlet B, so it would say servlet not found.
Okay, yeah, great.
And
That's one answer. Yeah, that's one answer. Yes, it is. Thanks for giving it. There's one more answer which you could select. There's a new choice here. So, okay. So guess E. Okay. Now, first of all, it's normally it's required that you should have forward slash. That is probably right. So one, it could be servlet not found, and 500 error is also for the same. So there are two answers here. One is, so let me write it over here, answer so A and B. These two are the right answers. So we have two answers here for the same, D and E, A and D. Let's not discuss this, let's not go there. Now, fourth question, could someone give me the right answer for the same, please? Could someone give me the answer for the fourth question, please? Fourth is A, C, okay. We are getting all sort of question answers. C, okay. One more, please. Intasia, there are so many other persons. Arpan, Benjamin, please go ahead, give your answers. Participate in this discussion. If someone has answered questions, they can raise their hand. Let me see. One has raised a hand. Let's see that. Vishnu, I think he has already spoken. So let's do. Satish Kumar, Vik, Priyanka, A, okay. So the answer is A. So you have response.send redirect to index.jsp. Set location is, there is one more thing which you need to do before you can use send location. So request dispatcher, this could have been fine, but you don't have a redirect method. You have either include method or forward method. So you don't have send redirect. So this is the portion which caused wrong. This was right. First line, this one was wrong. So C is not the right answer. Neither this one, neither this one. So A is the right answer. Now, let's say that I haven't taught properly, completely. Let's see how many can give fifth question answer. B and C, okay. So B, D, B and C, okay. If I talk about the right answer here, except yeah, B, D, okay. Let me give you the answer. Except for JSP, the rest all are the answers. Except JSP, A, B, C, D, F, all are the answers. Let me, I'll not get into detail, but I surely would like to show you something. Now, suppose our client has requested for, now when we used, include and forward, these are include, forward, these we are using from the servlet to servlet. Suppose someone has requested on the browser. So that's the request which someone has sent. So request is also comes under this. Anyway, that's a long topic. And you have error also. Suppose the page which client has requested is not there. So what server will do is it will just forward the request to some error page that sorry, this page is not available. So that, so that server is actually redirecting you to some error page. So error is also one option here, and async is the first time included. Async is included in the Java EE6 for the very first time. So the answer is A, B, C, D, and F.